Oh man, this is both of our faces are on a screen. We're looking at Zooms. We're interacting. We got topics in mind. That's could only mean one thing. Property Ebonics. Proper Ebonics. Welcome to Proper Ebonics.
Yeah, man. Yo, we in the building, you know what I'm saying? And this is the first time in a while I think we recorded at night.
Yeah, this is an evening recording, probably the first time in I want to say a year. I think we did a few in the
Yeah. Oh,
beginning of like our virtual episodes. But yeah, we've been consistent with like doing it Saturday and Sunday mornings. That's
yeah.
been like our jam.
Yeah, until somebody had to mess it up.
Are you talking about you? Are you talking about
Yo,
you,
what
right?
do you mean?
Yeah, I
You
was like,
couldn't do
yeah, that's
Saturday.
wild that you messed it up. That's
You
crazy.
you couldn't do Saturday. And then we're here. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even remember why I couldn't do Saturday. There was a reason though. Yeah.
You just didn't feel like you
Oh
just feeling
yeah, there was a
lazy.
whole. I was out. No, we'll get into it too, man. I'm your co-host Kirk, co-host Alan. At this point, you know. But yeah, man. Hope everything's been chilling on your end. I just came back. I was in Denver. I was in Denver, Colorado, from
Nice.
like Thursday to Sunday. That's why. Yeah, I was like, what was I doing? Yeah, I was.
So you were stuck? What do you mean?
Yeah, so like went there for a work thing. For those of you that don't know, I don't like to share what I do for work, but I'll let you know. I sell vacuums, so I was there for work, and was there from Thursday, and I was supposed to leave Saturday. Thursday, dress up, present on Friday. You boy rocked out. We did a bunch of cool stuff. Then Saturday, I was supposed to fly out. The flight it got delayed by 3 hours. Whatever, that's fine. That happens sometimes. You boy go get some pizza. You got to fuel up and all that stuff. You know, you've been doing push-ups and all that. So I'm trying to get my energy. And then apparently the plane undelayed and decided to come not on time, but like 20 minutes away from when it was set. And then I hear an announcement when I'm like, I want to say like a quarter of a mile away. Like Denver airport's huge.
Yeah.
They're like, Philadelphia leaving in 4 minutes and the gate is closing and we will not reopen, especially if your name is Kirk. And I was like, what? So I'm running to the spot.
Not an airport runner.
Bro, I'm
It's the worst.
airport runner. I got like 3 bags on me and all that stuff, man. And then I go there. I literally see the plane right there, but they're like, we can't open it. And I was like, that's kind of wild. You guys didn't send any notices to my phone or anything like that. And it's like you said, it was a 3 hour delay. I wasn't going to sit there for the 3 hours. I left
Right.
a little bit just to get food, which was a distance away. Fine. So I go about. I'm like, all right. They're like, we only have a plane available tomorrow at 8 a.m. And I was like, oh, I guess this means like lodging. Like I had to get another hotel. I had to Uber back to it to like find a place to stay and all that stuff.
Wow.
But I was like, all right, I'm trying to make the most of it. Another day in Colorado, but at the same time, I have to wake up at 6 a.m. to make an 8 a.m. flight, so I can't really do much. And then you know, it's like Colorado has all the scenic nature,
Yeah.
all the cool things. Everyone knows Colorado. Shout out to mooses and all that. I
Out
booked
to
the
the
hotel.
Meese.
What's that?
Shout out to the Meese.
Is that plural for
I don't know.
moose? I believed you. I was Bruce, I feel we could get a photo of a goose and a moose and put it up there for the meese.
You have you ever seen that video? It was a comedian. He went viral years
What?
ago. He was talking about he was like talking about geese. He like you call them talking about geeses and stuff. So it was just funny that when you say
Yeah.
geese just now, it made me remember that video.
Alan, you out here paraphrasing bits, man? Are you out here stealing material?
Oh,
Oh my
whoa!
god.
Nah, man, no such
Oh
thing, bro.
my god.
I will never ever do such a thing. I will never do such a thing. But Meese
You
is
know,
fun.
it's a vicious cycle. They say when it happens to other people, that's when they start lashing out and doing the same. So we
Joke
know
thieves
you're on a
don't go.
watch list.
Joke thieves don't cite their sources. I'm telling you that this guy did a viral video about geese.
No, I'm just messing with you. That'd be wild though. Yeah, man. The hotel. I go and get a hotel. I'm like, let me get a cheap option, and all that stuff. And it turns out the hotel is like 30 miles away, So the cheap option ended up being super expensive because the Uber to get to the hotel and back to the airport, like $100 each. And the hotel, it was, you ever have days where it feels like kind of no matter what you do, the world is just not really on your side.
Yes.
It's often. Like, yeah, like you're almost like afraid to step outside of like, I need to just stay in one spot because anything that it feels like all the negative stuff is going to happen on this day.
Yeah. There's days where I'll literally be outside and I'll say to myself, I got to go home. I outside isn't vibing with me right now. I do that a lot. So yeah.
Producer Pat mentions, right, there was a great poet that mentioned that, Fred Durst. It was just one of those days, Blair. It really was. It really did occur like that. So
great time in American literature.
Yeah. Bring it on. Wearing my red hat and everything. Yeah, man. So I booked a hotel in like a business district, so there wasn't. I found one park to Uber to, and then it turns out that park was closed. So I go home, I watch the beginning of Scream, but then the hotel, it lost signal, so I only saw the first 20 minutes of Scream reboot. And catch this, I wake up 5:45. I'm like, all right, new day, let's get it. I do my push-ups. And then the Uber that I reserved because it was so early just didn't come. Didn't answer any messages, didn't call. Zahid, I'm calling you out on this one because that was wild. I almost missed my flight because of you. But it wouldn't have mattered because I make it to the airport and the flight was canceled. The 8 a.m. flight was canceled.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, flight was canceled. Southwest was like, the next one's not until Tuesday. And it was Sunday, mind you. So I was like, damn, I may just be a terminal boy. I may just be chilling in the terminal.
Wow.
But you know, you boys were resourceful and all that stuff. So
you ran.
I did some jogging. I did some jogging and I was like, yo, Southwest, you kind of let me down on this one 2 times. I'm not going to let a third strike get me. So I found United Airlines. I had a flight out and I just bought a ticket. I'm not going to be tacky and drop the number on there. It was a $500 ticket, ticket. But the vacuum cleaner company that I work for, they're reimbursing me for all of it. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, this would be a little bit more of a tragic story if I wasn't being reimbursed for the hotel, the Ubers, and the airline, because it was for the vacuum cleaning company. So yeah, all reimbursed.
Everything, like Ubers, hotels, everything.
Yeah, there's something like I bought a croissant. I wasn't going to push that. I was like, all right. I'll take that. I'll pay for the croissant.
I don't know. Airport croissants is like $52. I don't know.
It was pricey. So yeah, man, I was stuck in Denver for a while, made it back, but I just want to give a quick shout out to, and matter of fact, I'm going to rescind the shout out because I'm going to save it for our proper suggestions and all that stuff. But okay. We're going to return back to Denver and let them know what happened.
I don't think that it's fair that airlines can just do that.
In what way?
Like everything, like just the not notify. Like I hate when flights get delayed without like. Well, if it's not weather, I get nervous. It's like, so if it's not weather, why are we delayed 3 hours? You know what I mean?
Why are all these mechanics under the plane that we're about to board?
No. Have you ever been, I've been sitting on a plane before and they're like, your flight's going to pull off later because we got to fix something. I'm just like,
what?
Yeah.
Once they start mentioning like tarmac, once I hear the word tarmac, I'm like, I don't know about this.
Tarmac is, I'm pretty sure it's just the runway.
Tarmac, it's Latin for take your time. I think that's what it's suggesting.
I don't think that's, no, I'm pretty sure the tarmac is
I don't think it's actually true. No, it definitely is. Yeah, it most definitely is. Once I hear that though, it's like, why are they on the tarmac? Why? I want this to be a smooth flight and such. So
it's then the not notifying you. Yes, and you should open the door. You should like, they should open the door after you show them your phone. Like, hey, there's no notification telling me that my flight moved up 2.5 hours. Like, you know how tragic that is, seeing the plane. Like, it's not even like it left.
Like those people didn't even have their seatbelts on.
Close. It's so close.
I was like, yeah, I will say this though. I'm gonna hype myself up on this one. your boy was graceful. I didn't flip out on anyone. I didn't flip on any of the tenants. Granted, they weren't being jerks. They're being kind of stoic, which is not great in those situations. A lot of times you kind of want to empathetic, like, sorry. There's like, go talk to Carl. So I went to go talk to Carl and all that stuff. But I was like, yeah, you guys really didn't like make any announcements. But I was like, fine. I didn't lash out on them and anything like that. So that's one thing that I'll take away from it. I hope this is me making heroic ideations in my mind, because I know other people were seeing, a lot of people were witnessing someone who had just missed their flight and was told that the next flight is until the next day, which is like not a great situation. I hope the people that saw that, I hope they got inspired. I hope that
half the people that saw that were also people that missed that flight. Who just freaked out.
I know, right? We just lashed out at Carl. Yeah,
more like Kirk.
Yeah, so not to hype myself up too much, but out of that situation, that's one thing I took out of it. I was like, all right, well, at least I didn't go crazy on Carl or anything like that. And yeah, or I didn't go too well when the hotel lost TV signal, because I was into Scream. I was like, all right, well, this is silver lining. I've been wanting to watch this movie. Kind of cool, could relax. Just 20 minutes into it, just all the Showtime 1, Showtime 2, PBS, Showtime 4, all channels just lost. So I was just chilling.
No, man, kudos to you. I couldn't do it. I know myself, and I'm working on it, but I couldn't remain that calm through all of that. Like,
what would you have done?
I have a bad tendency to take out my frustration on people that have nothing to do with it.
The croissant lady would have heard from you.
I would have threw the croissant. I would have threw tossed. I would have threw a couple. I threw some Danishes and all that, and flying across Terminal F.
It's very French of you.
But like, no, because like I know that, like, I'm working on, I'm going to therapy and all that stuff. But like the other day, I wanted to pay my gas bill on the phone, and they were like, to make a payment, press 1. So I pressed 1, and it was like, you will now be directed to another place where you will be charged. I was like, why are you directing me? Like, I'm just like, whoa. Like,
was this a representative, or was it just one of those robots?
It's a robot.
No, you could say that to a robot.
But if it was a representative, I would have done the same thing. I was just frustrated. It was just like, they on the bill, it said, call this number to pay your bill. And then when you call the number, it's like, wait, no, we're going to send you somewhere else. It's just like, why don't you just give me that other number?
Yeah,
but those little things, though, they just set me off. So I'm trying to work on it. So I'm trying to follow in your footsteps.
Oh man, we're all evolving and stuff like that. There's some stuff that I definitely need to work on. So that I'm sure like you're fully equipped in and such. So it's always a handoff and all that. But that said, I'm somewhat okay with the idea of you throwing croissants, because that's just a wild image right there. We gotta plan a PE trip, you, myself, producer Pat, and then see how each of us navigates travel inquiries. Like how we navigate that. It would be very interesting to see. I feel like we only see each other within the comedy streets and the podcasting streets. Wow. And I'm curious. Yeah, exactly. It's like, what else is out there? Like how has proper Ebonics handle themselves at a carnival? I don't know.
I tell you about me. I every time I see a funnel cake sign, I have to buy the funnel cake. That's me at carnivals. Like, it's like my bat signal.
Bro, that's like 28 bat signals. That's like the whole carnival.
Every time I see, I really like funnel cakes. I don't know what it is. So that's me at a carnival. I like funnel cakes, and I pretty much get on every ride.
Okay. I'm all about the dart throwing. Like when they have those games where it's like, yo, test your aim. I'm like, okay, let's go. Like when it comes to the rides, I'm like, I don't know if I trust this like fireball wheel where it's like they're throwing you upside down and all that stuff, and you see like the foundation of it shaking and the bolts coming out. When it comes to dart throwing, I'm like, all right, let me get this stuff giraffe real quick.
So you're good with aiming darts, huh?
You already know what it is. Yeah, I'm good at darts name.
So you really didn't hit your cat, huh?
Shout out to that joke. Shout out to that joke. Yeah, man. That's that's yeah, that's a fun one always just to have in your back pocket. Your boys gotta I mean, it's always a state of evolution and always kind of like writing different things. But you ever have particular jokes that you have sort of thing like that where it's like, oh, it's a back pocket joke, but you want to have like the 2.0 version of it. Like not even necessarily like, oh, I need to come up with just new bits in general. I want to come up with a bit like this or a joke like this that maybe different subject matter, but has almost the same essence of like, okay, well now I have another one that's my back pocket one. Oh, I have another closer. Oh, I have another
Yeah,
opener. Yeah, but what's that like for you?
yeah. You for me, like I pretty much just lost my closer.
Tragic.
So I've been trying to follow the cadence. Like I know the flow. Like when I hit the joke and the act outs. So I've been trying to like take just the jokes that I already do have and like do the same because I know how that thing like it hit, and then it ended with a callback. So like I'm trying to like get every joke to like hit. They might not all end with callbacks, but just to like the way I hit that joke and all the act outs and then the describing of the act outs, like that's like the formula that I'm trying to use for everything because that thing worked perfect. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was a good premise, but it also was the delivery and the just the tags and all that stuff.
How's this journey been for you so far? It's been like about a month and a half since that situation, and kind of how's rebuilding coming for you?
I feel like I'm falling back in love with the process.
Okay.
I feel like I was getting too high on the what's the word? Like the outcome. I like the reaction I was getting from the audience. I like the way I felt after shows, things like that. But I kind of missed the essence of being in the trenches with the pen, like writing jokes, expanding jokes, testing premises, trying things, taking risks. Um, I feel like I was getting to a point. It's all crazy how this all comes full circle. But I was getting to a point where everything was just like recited, like word for word joke. And like I felt like I wasn't in touch with the audience. I
Yeah.
felt like I was disconnected. It was just like me, just like joke, 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 joke. You know what I mean? It
It's
wasn't
hard to
like
recognize when you're doing well, too. It's not because it's like if it's you could feel disconnected, but also be doing well when you know the material well enough.
I was like I was. That was the hard part. The hardest part for me was I was doing well. So it was like, do I stop doing this? Like, you know what I mean? But it's
Mm.
like, so what happened was with my best joke, I can't use anymore. What happened is it got me to be like falling in love with the writing jokes and trying things. And I'm really like just I'll be closing with like everything now. Like
Mm.
I'm be trying to close with every I can tell you what joke I can close with. I can tell you which ones I can't. Like I've been trying. So it hasn't so the good it hasn't been like me just crushing everything like I always do.
Yeah.
It's been more like me. I'm doing great. I'm doing good. You can't tell that I'm working on stuff, but like I'm literally working. Like I'm
Oh.
figuring this out every show. There's not a show that I go on and I'm not working on a lot of stuff. You know what I
You're
mean?
free. You're free. You've gotten the liberation sort of thing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I equate it to like when people lose their reputation, and it's like you have like a reputation, and it's based in ego and all that, and something happens, you embezzle, or you get caught with like a like a prostitutes of sorts. I don't know why these are examples that come to mind, but and then it's like, oh man, my reputation's gone. I no longer this ego to stand on the thing that I'm very comfortable and what I know. So now I'm able to just kind of do whatever. Feels like that. You essentially got caught with a prostitute.
Yeah, that's what it is. The comedy version of a streetwalker. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean it
But
literally.
no. You ain't gotta worry about that for me, though. You ain't gotta worry about that for me. Trust me. It's not my twist. But I've liberated, feel free. That's the words. I'm no longer a slave to the killing it. Like I don't care. Like, I'm confident that I'm gonna do great, but I'm not like so hard pressed on like making sure my closer is perfect and everything. It's like, bro, like it's this comedy thing is like I fell in love with the jokes I wrote at first. So it's kind of like I haven't been doing this long. I've been doing it 7 years. Like my anniversary was last week. 7 years.
Congratulations. Pretty bad. If you could play the congratulations really quick for Alan. Very nice.
So like and I say that to say the 7 years is like the jokes that I wrote probably like 3 and 4 years ago. Those have been like when jokes I've been using and working on and like building up. It's like, but those are like the first funny jokes I had. Yeah, anybody that's like two years under, all those jokes you're doing, you're not going to use them. You're not going to use them by year 10. You're not going to use those. I'm at a transition point where it's like I got a whole bunch of jokes that I just don't want to use anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I need new stuff. I need relevant stuff. I want to keep writing because I'm back to enjoying the journey. Like I'd be writing more, expanding on jokes more. So just got to fall in love with the process again.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm curious, and the people that listen are curious to see your process and all that stuff. I saw you were at a POV, all that. If I knew you were coming, I would have considered coming through at a busy day. So I was like, I'm not going to drive out to Lancaster, but I would have considered sliding by.
I don't be knowing. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't be knowing until like 20 minutes before. I'm like, all right, I got time. I can run over there.
Yeah.
You know? Like the 1 week I was going to go. But I had to watch TV. Like I had to watch. My show came on. My daughter was like, "Dad, you said you were going to watch the show with me," and I was like, "You're right." So I didn't go.
It's like, yeah, I wanted to do comedy, but instead I had to stay home and watch Bones with my daughter.
It was actually Abbott Elementary. It wasn't Bones.
Oh, okay. Also a good show. I've never. No, that's not true. I have watched an episode of Bones. But speaking of Bones, man, Halloween season is around. And people are trying to get spooky, trying to get in the spirit of evilness and such. Oh my goodness. One of the big things that we're seeing now in terms of criticism, I feel like we should have a segment on the show of criticism. Because we talk about backlash and you guessed it, criticism. People are talking about the Jeffrey Dahmer show. That's a very popular show on Netflix. And a lot of people for Halloween are considering dressing up like the character Jeffrey Dahmer, who, as some of us may know, was a real life serial killer and cannibalist. They're getting some backlash because people are suggesting that's a glorification of serial killers and that it still impacts not only the victims of the past but family members of the victims. What are your thoughts on the idea of with Halloween of dressing up as real life serial killers or people that have harmed people in real life? Do we think there should be freedom to embrace this for Halloween, or should we be more sensitive to the families?
I'm trying to think. So I've seen people talking about this and stuff. So when you sent the topic over, I was trying to think what I think about it. And so my first thought was like, can I compare it to something? Like, is there anybody else who's like a terrible person that people dress up as? That's a real person. Like, is anybody walking around as Hitler? You know what I mean? Like,
but they get like overt backlash. Sort of. Right. I feel like that's like an extreme. Like you're dressing up as Hitler. It's like, all right.
No, so like, I'm just trying to think of. I'm trying to think of real people that are bad people. That has anyone dressed up with them as for Halloween? Like, is that thing that I don't?
What constitutes bad? Like Gustan,
killing people.
Oh, all right. I was about to say the dude from Beauty and the Beast, but yeah, all right, yeah, you're right. So
real people.
Well, I feel like all right. So William H. Macy,
not
William H. Macy. My bad. But all right. So say like what's the dude's name? The clown killer dude. Something Macy.
Oh, John Wayne Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy. Thank you. Yes. So I feel like if people dressed up as him this year, he's someone that did some notable killings and such. But there's not as much notoriety because there isn't a TV show that followed it. So you're taking the element of it being a talking point out of it. If you just saw someone dress up as him, I don't think it would be as much backlash. And I don't think, maybe some that are perhaps more insightful would see that as like, oh, it's kind of an issue. Like, why are you embracing that character? I think it's more of a matter of Jeffrey Dahmer is a hot topic right now because it's a show, and because it's a show and because it's a hot topic, people are going to want to create content and dialogue, kind of like what we're doing about it, because that's where the sun is. That's where the hotness is. So that's what the criticism and the outcries are going to be about. Whereas, like, if you had someone dressing up like Casey Anthony, I mean, that's a weird example, but that's maybe not Casey Anthony. OJ Simpson, that's another weird example. The courts prove that these are all weird examples.
Right. So look, but look, that's answering the question. The fact that you said the reaction we both had to when you said Casey Anthony and OJ Simpson is the correct reaction. Like, oh, why would you do that? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if it's on TV. Why would you do that? Like, why would you want to be that?
I think some people, that's the thing for Halloween. A lot of it is like you're embracing, for lack of better words, evil. You're embracing horror. That's why we're watching these horror movies where it's like gratuitous gore and the stabbings and the suspense, all the suspense. And that's a part of the holiday for people that get into it. So being like these scary clowns and such, that's kind of what the Halloween season is. It's just, is there a line?
But it's not, they're not real. Nobody's dressing up as real. That's what I'm saying though. It's like, why? So what's one thing to walk around like, hey, look at me, I'm Jason from the movie. Like, I'm a serial killer in the movie. But
solid impression, Jason right there. I like that.
But it's another thing to walk around like, hey, look at me, I'm Jeffrey Dahmer. It's like, okay,
another solid impression. All right.
Why would you? I don't know. It's just kind of like, why would you want to? So look, I know in college, right? These two football players I played with, like big black dudes. Like one was like 6'3", one was like 6'1", like Diesel, right? 1 year, and I talked about the way they look for a reason. Because 1 year they dressed up as the KKK.
Okay.
I never forget it. It was Halloween night. We was on campus, and I see these dudes walking down. I see these dudes putting sheets on, walking down the hallway. I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing? And they like, we going to Millersville to the party. We gonna be, and they said it. They was like, well, we big. Ain't nobody gonna mess it up. And he's right. You're 6'3", like. These are like football players. Like nobody's gonna mess with them. They understood what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Oh no!
They knew people. They're gonna ruffle some feathers. But like they said, I'm a big black guy. Nobody's gonna do anything. These people that put on the Jeffrey Dahmer thing, it's the same thing. They want to ruffle feathers. But if you're not 6'3", maybe you should chill. Because like,
if you're not a 6'3" black dude, you can't be coming out as Jeffrey Dahmer. Is that what you're saying?
You ain't 6'6" and can run a 4.4. Maybe you shouldn't put that costume on.
Yeah, that costume with the KKK, the black dudes in it, that would ruffle my feathers, because it's like I would see that and be like, whoa, like what do I do with that? Not realizing that it's just two black dudes dressing up for Halloween. I'd be like, oh, this is threatening. Usually, I envision KKK as like just older dudes that don't have teeth and all that. And it's just like, okay, I can dismiss this. But if I see like Mark Henry in like a KKK costume, I'm like, this is actually threatening. I do not know what I should do.
Okay, you guys win. I'm going to go back to Africa. No, but like, yeah, I think that same reaction that they were trying to get with the KKK is the same thing that anybody wearing Jeffrey Dahmer thing is just trying to get a reaction. I think it's classless. I mean, there's so many other things. Nobody's walking around here as Hitler for Halloween. And I say Hitler because it's an extreme case, but it's like that man, there are families that react when they hear the name, they react. You know what I mean? So there's people that will see a costume like that and they react the same way they reacted when the Netflix dropped the show. You know what I mean? Like, it's a bad look. It's a bad look. That's what I'm going to say. It's a bad look, man.
My family and I, we react very strongly when we hear the name Shaquille O'Neal. So we avoid that topic. Now I'm curious your take on this, and because I agree in a lot of ways. There's so many other costumes, and it's just in terms of it being such a popular thing, it just kind of lacks uniqueness. But if you do it, that's fine, I guess. But that just maybe be considerate. If we saw someone dress as Charles Manson and we didn't know of this discussion of the Jeffrey Dahmer of like, oh, families are upset and all that stuff, but we just like came to a Halloween party and someone was dressed as Charles Manson, would there be a visceral reaction to that? Or would it just be like, oh, all right, that's someone as Charles Manson?
If I understood who he was, like if I seen a person dressed as Charles Manson, I got it. I'd be like, oh, I probably that's the same thing. Like, I'm just trying to think that if I seen someone walk in the Halloween party dressed as Hitler, what would I do? How would I feel? I'm just thinking the same thing because this person killed people.
Yeah. Why is Hitler on your mind like that? Hitler's on your mind.
Because he's a perfect example of a bad costume that you should never wear because for certain reasons. And I think that for the people that kill people like that, for real, like you shouldn't. Like, why would you want to be that?
Yeah.
Why, let me be. I don't know. I can't think of any other killers, but you know what I mean. Like
that's you sound like the crab from Little Mermaid. I was like,
speaking of crab, hey yo, speaking of crabs, you hear what's a crab shortage?
No, I did not hear that.
And they said 1 billion. It was a $1 billion worth or 1 million. Man, a bunch of crabs went missing in Alaska. That's all I know.
What? Oh.
Yeah, a bunch of crabs went missing and a crab shortage.
Red Lobster's freaking out right now. They're over there like trying to get orders of like chicken tenders. Like, we can't keep doing these like crab deals.
The Lobster's gonna be working overtime.
Oh my goodness.
But also there's an impending butter shortage. So I don't know what the mukbangers gonna do.
What news are you reading that you're hearing about shortage? Why? I asked you before. I was like, "Yeah, what kind of topics you want to touch on?" And I was like, "I don't know, maybe sports." Like, clearly you've been on a wave.
No, look, it's it's so funny because it's so random.
Yeah, like, I'm aware.
it's Twitter. And see, so what happens is I'll see like an article. It may not be like big news, but like I'll read an article from like a reputable source, and this is like, you know, a bunch of crabs are missing in Alaska. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. And then like the next day I was on Facebook and I seen something like impending butter shortage. I'm like, this is insane. Like I can't have a seafood boil at all. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's just
really trying to infiltrate you. They're trying to infiltrate.
You know,
during your Twitter shortage searches and such on your feed, I don't know if you happen to see this story, man. Do you hear about rappers who surf?
Yeah, yo, and it's crazy. I think I copied the link like last week and forgot to send it to you. Like the plan was to send it to you and I didn't.
Bro, I'm on that wave. No pun intended. I'm on that wave. I was on the plane before going to Colorado because, you know, I get down and I saw like when they had the footage, I guess, of them actually arresting him in New Jersey. And for those that will give some context, Sue Surf is a well-known battle rapper, one of the originals, top tier. He's coming off a crazy run. He's like 5-0 right now. He just did Summer Madness and Rolling Loud. He's written books, has kind of a deep history, has been to prison before, came back, was an analyst for battle rap, and then came back as a battle rapper and has just been doing phenomenal. And then it was revealed that he is being charged with what they call a RICO case. And the RICO cases, those are pretty impactful because it encompasses a bunch of different crimes. And if you're charged with a RICO case, that means that they have been looking into you for a while. And it's known that it's very hard to get out of a RICO case or to beat a RICO case. And he's currently looking at perhaps many years in prison.
Yeah, man, I've said it. It's kind of crazy now when I think about it. We talk about RICO on here a lot.
With the Gunna and the what was it, Young Thug?
Gunna and Young Thug got the RICO.
Joy Behar, I think we were talking about Joy Behar got a RICO.
Joy Behar and Martha Stewart. But what's his name? The rapper Casanova. You know Casanova?
Casanova too. Him. Oh, you know, you did mention that. You're right.
Casanova he literally just, I heard not too long ago, he just pled guilty because, like you said, they look at you for a long time. They do their research. They don't come get you or let you know until they got you.
Yeah.
So I think the percentage is like a percent. I've heard a number before, but the percentage is like 95% of like federal crime because the RICO case is a federal crime.
Yeah.
95% of these crimes they get convicted. Like it's like a 95 conviction rate. Like you once you get picked up by the federal government like that, it's yeah, you're gonna plead guilty or you're gonna sit for a long time.
It's wild, man, because I don't know the full details, particularly with the Sioux Surf one, what it entails, but because of the nature of a RICO, where it's like, it could be like racketeering down to like something as crazy as murder. It could be have all these things in there. As a fan of battle rap and a fan of Sioux Surf, it's one of those things where you want to be like, oh, it's someone that provides entertainment to me and someone that like I admire in some ways of like just from being a source of entertainment and just really cool bars and all that. You want it to be like, oh man, free surf and all that stuff. But then at the same time, you kind of wonder like, oh, what exactly? It's one of those things where you don't necessarily want to be like, oh yeah, free someone without knowing the full details. It's like, oh man, what exactly did that entail? But I do want to know, and I want it to be on record that in my heart, free surf,
Yeah.
free the wave.
Look, man, I feel you on that. Like, as long as you ain't do nothing unfathomable, you know what I mean? It's like the children and like women, things like that. Like, if you just about doing what you do, you know, living a life that do for you.
If Sioux Surf got a RICO from shoplifting, free the wave, free the wave. I'm not condoning shoplifting, but I'm condoning these bars though. I'm condoning these bars.
I know that the RICO was invented to stop mobsters.
Yeah.
Get mobsters, conspiracy. That's the whole thing. It's a conspiracy. Multiple people planning all these different crimes. That's the conspiracy for the RICO. What happens, what I feel like what happens now is they don't even go after like regular people, like real gangsters. They just go after like rappers.
Because
like,
rappers, a lot of times they talk about it. Like a lot of times rappers, and they, from what we're seeing, they mix up in a lot of those situations. And a lot of times they're born into situations where that may be a part of the way of living. And even when you go beyond that and you're a successful rapper, you still have trails of that from your past. So that's that. And it doesn't help when like your music is flat out saying it. Like you're in front of crowds, like kind of not necessarily promoting it, but like detailing it.
Right.
So I think that's why we're seeing it a lot with rappers. It's I imagine it's almost easy to catch a rapper.
Right. Hold on. Give me a second. Hold
on. While Alan is doing this, I would like to take this time to give a shout out to Bang Energy Drink. Say if you had quite a hefty day at work, you want to get some energy before recording your podcast partner, consider Bang Energy Drink. How much does it cost? This one was free. The vending machine at my office, they're currently just giving out free drinks, so I was able to utilize that. No sugar, so that's kind of a plus. I will say just be very mindful with energy drinks. They cause kidney stones if you have too many of them, so you want to be mindful of that. Be careful of how much energy drinks, how much salt you take into your body, and consider lemon juice. A lot of times lemon juice, like if you're having like a salad or if you want to have some sort of element of zest to your meals, consider lemon juice instead of the salt. You want to defeat the kidney stones. I do want to give a big shout out to a museum, but I'm going to hold off on that for the prop suggestion portion of it. What's up, Alan?
My fault, man. My landlord knocked on the door, came in the house.
What?
I called him the other day because I heard like some squirrels or something on the roof. He just like showed up. Like, bro, you got to text me, you got to call me. You just can't just show up. He was like, now is a bad time? Yeah, now is a really bad time.
Yeah, now is a bad time. The heck is this problem?
I don't know. Like,
he's trying to get on the podcast. He's trying to get on the podcast. He saw you pull that microphone out. He was like, oh, okay, this would be a good time to address the squirrels.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. Like,
you damn fool. Yeah. I don't know if he could hear that through the walls or not. I don't want to like read or anything like that, but he's a diggity damn fool.
Whatever. All right. I apologize. The last thing you're talking about was the
we're talking about Bang energy drinks and kidney stones, and why you got to make sure to have balance in your work, life, and pursuit of bald eagles. That's what we were talking about for a little bit. But how about this, man? For the sake of the people, for the sake of the cast, for the sake of timing, let's get some prop suggestions.
So this is what when you text me about, like, was there any other topics? So yeah, man, like I'm so excited about this. Every single Philadelphia sports team is doing good right now, and they're like all on at the same time, which never happens. So you got the Eagles are undefeated, Flyers are undefeated, and I don't even watch hockey. Phillies are literally in the what's it called? The National League Championship Series. And if they win this series, they go to the World Series. And then the Sixers played last.
I know he's not playing anymore, but yeah.
2008. That was a great. That's the year they won the World Series. But
yeah.
So I suggest that just tune in. Don't watch the Sixers. They lost last night. But Eagles, Flyers, Phillies, and even the Union, the soccer team.
How's our bowling team doing? How's the Philadelphia bowling team? Are we doing well?
My daughter's soccer team had a tie game the other day, so it's a little bit of a win.
Oh my god, we're out here crushing them, man. And if you watch the Eagles, then yeah, man, Donovan McNabb, you're gonna take us to the Super Bowl.
All right, you say that now. I bet you'll be at the parade though. I'm saying it's gonna be lit.
Yeah, that will be nice. Yeah, man. Shouts to Philly teams. I don't really watch sports like that, but I'm always happy. My friends are happy, so that's not always true. So for the most part, it's cool to see them.
I can't. I wish I was lying when I said this. When I say this, but I'm so serious. There hasn't been any murders in Philly in 4 days.
Yeah, it boosts the morale of the streets and all that stuff. So that's a good thing, and hopefully we keep that going because the streets been crazy. I want to give a quick prop suggestion to, like I mentioned, I was selling vacuums. When I was not selling vacuums in Denver, when I put that bag down, I took some time to myself on a Friday night and went to a place that's called the Meow Wolf Museum. Have you ever heard of Meow Wolf Museum?
No.
It's a wild place, man. So it's they have different ones in different pop-up locations. It's an immersive museum, immersive visual museum. So you go in and it's just all this like trippy stuff all over the place. Like you go, there's a storyline dedicated to it, but your boy had a drink or two, so I wasn't gonna do the storyline. But like, so like there's endless amounts of doors. Like you go through one door, you think you're in a crazy room that's like looks like Pee Wee Herman's house. And then you see one door that looks like it's locked. Then you open it, it goes into another room that you're able to look down a tunnel. It was crazy. I was there for like 3 hours. There was like 5 floors. It was just me. It was such a cool experience. I'll tell you a quick tale of how I got dissed. Someone tried to dampen the experience. I go into one room that like it's almost like a monastery. Like it's like everyone's sitting around in this circular all blue room. And there's a bunch of circular stuff on the ground. There's benches there. I go in, it's kind of quiet. And I'm like, oh, let me bust out a little joke real quick because it was all blue. And I was like, yo, it's like a sauna in here.
Yeah.
No laugh. It's like maybe like 8 and 9 people, no laughter. I'm like, okay, I'm used to this. That's fine. So I go have my seat. And then someone sitting across from me, this dude with his girlfriend, probably like 18 years old. He looks over and he says, hey, no talking. And the room erupts. The room erupts with laughter. And then I'm just like this. I'm like, was there an inside joke? I didn't know what to make of it. And then he was like, I'm just playing. So I'm assuming there was an inside joke. But after he said the I'm just playing part, I had to hit him with the damage has been done. So they try to dampen your boy's experience at that one, but overall this was a really cool experience. I highly recommend it.
Where is this at?
This was in Denver. This was
in Denver.
Yeah, this was in Denver, but they have a bunch of pop-up ones. Who knows, they may open one up in Philly. But right now they have one in Las Vegas, I think New Orleans, and the other one's in Denver, but we're seeing more and more of them, and it was so cool, man. I can't put words to it. Actually, I can't put words to it, and I did. So yeah, that's one that I want to recommend to the people.
All right, check it out. Check it out. You heard it here first.
Yes.
That's like the news. The news. You've heard it here first. Breaking news.
Damn. Look like Mario Lopez.
Why?
No, but I feel like that's something. I don't know why he's the first journalist that came to mind. Steve Buscemi spilled pasta on his shorts. You heard it here first. Like, that's my Mario Lopez impression.
That's what Nori said after Kanye left.
Oh my goodness. Are we going to touch on Kanye? I know we're running short on time. Do we want to touch on Kanye?
I just want to say that I'm so happy that I don't want to watch that interview. I don't care.
Yeah.
Bro, I've been done with him. I've been done. Like, I don't even care. So I see people like retweeting it and like or angry. I'm just like, you still follow? Like, you should have been done with him a long time ago. So
yeah, that's the thing. Like, we've touched on Kanye. That's why when I sent the topics, I was like, if we want to, we could touch on it. But it's like him being on an anti-Semitic wave. That's the thing too. That's kind of hard about it. As someone I'm removing myself from a lot of that dialogue too, because I'm kind of just over it. Not even necessarily like, oh, Kanye is the worst. It's just I'm just not interested in it. And then I'm hearing like there's snippets of like him, like the George Floyd stuff and like the anti-Semitic stuff. And it's like, that's wild. But at the same time though, it's like, because I'm not hearing it, I'm just hearing it from people that are talking about it.
Yeah.
I can't trust their full words on it either. Because a lot of times that's the case. Like whenever there's like a backlash against something, we're getting just one view of it, which I'm not saying like we should disregard, but a lot of times it just feels like it's either exaggeration or like extrapolating just one part of it, and we're not really getting the full story. So I feel like in a way, part of me is like, I do want to hear the interview to kind of hear exactly what he was saying and if it is as crazy as people are suggesting. Because right now it's just off what we're seeing off Twitter, and I don't trust that.
Why do you let it go, Kirk? Let him go.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm also on that way of like, I'm not really going to gain much from diving deep into like whatever Kanye's saying.
No one is saying it.
I know there's been a kind of a growth. I didn't even cut you off. I was just like, I feel like there's a growth in like anti-Semitism, and to be on that wave personally as like a fan of Kanye's music and all that stuff, like that would be like extra disappointing and all that stuff. But I don't know exactly the quotes or what he said. Like a lot of times people just do selective hearing too. So it's like, oh, maybe he said one thing and we're just going to deem it that, but I can't really speak on it unless I hear it from the source.
So you said the anti-Semitic thing, you're a fan of his music, it really like turns you off, correct? I think that's that's the only thing I have anything to actually say about this, and it's the only input I'll give on this whole thing, because I really don't care what he says, I don't care what he does, whatever. I think it's crazy how for years now he has been saying so much about Black people, so many wrong things about Black people, so many disrespectful things about Black people. White people didn't say anything.
That's I don't know. That's fully the case though.
It is. Why all the backlash now that he's put out his anti-Semitic views?
I feel like people like when he had that whole White Lives Matter thing, I feel like a lot of people, including white people, were like whoever was prone to being outraged was outraged about that.
Everything he had to come on. I think he went on TV today and apologize or something like that. But everything has been taken away. Interviews have been taken down since the anti-Semitic thing. It's different. It's a different level. Once you start doing anti-Semitism, it's a different level. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he was he was still putting out albums, still doing everything. Everything was fine. He was coming at Black people.
Yeah,
everything was fine. But now they're like, oh, now you've gone too far. It's just like he's been too far.
Because the anti-Semitism. It's funny because it sounds like you're almost echoing his point.
No, I don't know what his point is. I have no idea what his point is, right? But That's what I said. This is the only thing I have to say about it. It's like I wish this would have all happened 3-4 years ago.
Right, with the whole slavery
like
choice
why do we have to wait until y'all? Like why we gotta wait till y'all are affected until everybody's like, oh man, now you've gone too far. That's the only thing I'm saying.
I'm saying like, well, everyone's kind of a general term because I feel like there's a lot of people like you and just in general that were been over him. Like there were quotes out there from like 2018 of like eventually he's going to start saying anti-Semitic stuff. So like I feel like there's a lot of people that were on the same wave as you of like once hearing that, just kind of being over it. And this feels like an extension of that. I think there is some truth to that too, though. Like once you start mentioning a race that pertains to white people, that's when it's going to be taken a little bit more seriously in terms of like we're taking down interviews and all that. I think there is some truth to that. But I think in general too, though, there's a league of people that they didn't need to wait until hearing something like this. Like they were done with it from the beginning.
No, for sure. When I say everybody, of course I don't mean every single body, but it just seems like it seems like the noise now is just, and the things that are happening now is different than when he was doing things that should have been happening years ago. That's all. That was the only thing. I try to stay as far away from the whole topic as much as possible, but that was the only thing I seen. I was like, they took his interview at the shop, like LeBron James and them got a show. They took his interview off the shop.
Wait, he was on LeBron James' show recently?
He has
LeBron James has a show?
On HBO. He has a show called The Shop. It's pretty cool where they sit in like a barbershop and they like talk to like it's like 8 famous people have like a discussion about whatever.
Take math off a show? As you're saying that LeBron James just took math off his I don't know if you're math off of the battle rapper. He has an exact show like that. Yeah. Where it's like in a barbershop.
Yeah, well whatever
expert opinion.
If he does, then yeah.
That's wild. Okay. And Kanye was on one of the LeBron ones?
Huh?
And Kanye was on one of the LeBron James episodes and they took it down?
They took it down. And it's just kind of like, it wasn't like he just did the episode. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that he just said something now that's just like, okay, that was too far. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's wild. Shout out to Math Hoffa. My expert
Who had it first? Who had the show first? How long has he been running his show?
Math Hoffa's been doing it for a minute, man. He made waves because he had Tony Yayo on recently, and Tony Yayo was talking about, you may have heard of that, like he was talking about the game and all the stuff that happened with G Unit. Good interview.
I did
shout out to Math Hoffa and LeBron doing this. Yeah, I was about to say that one made waves.
They were in the barbershop
a while now too. Yeah, I was like, that sounds like Math Hoffa's show.
Yeah, LeBron has one too. So
I don't think LeBron should be doing that. LeBron's getting like $4,000 haircuts. That's different tones. That's like a different barbershop. I don't know if I agree with it, but shout out to him nonetheless.
Who would have thought 15 years ago the episode with Kanye gets taken down, but Tony Yayo stays up? Like, what?
I know, right?
It's so great.
G Unit lives. Yeah, man.
Speaking of
man, I know you got
no, look, I want to.
Oh no, if you got more, continue because I got
it real quick. I want to because I just put something online about this. Speaking of G Unit, you see what's going on with 50 and his oldest son?
Oh my gosh, yeah, Marquise or something like that. Yeah, like so like Marquise. If you could explain a little bit, because I only know like snippets of it.
For a long time, him and his son have had a tumultuous relationship. They haven't been seen eye to eye. 50 Cent has been supporting him and his mother financially for a very long time, and I think that the child support has run out, and Marquise is upset now.
Publicly upset too.
Publicly upset, and he was saying that what he said, $6,700 a month ain't enough, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And like, bro, you ain't got a real job then, because $6,700.
I don't know what rent's like in Queens, but yeah, I'm sure he's used to a certain type of lifestyle. But I did think it was interesting that 50 Cent made a response. Like, of all people, it doesn't surprise me that who would make a response to their son having a public outburst. And it's like 50 Cent. Yeah, no, he definitely did. So I didn't listen to his response, but I'm very curious what beat he used. Just to see how he went with that. But yeah, man, I did see that, and shout out to them, and hopefully that domestic dispute comes to a good end.
I hope they figure it out. But what I will want to say is 50 Cent did an interview today, and he said that son is a hookah boy.
A hookah boy.
And he goes to the club and you order hookah from him. He'll pull up with a watermelon hookah.
Oh my god, damn, 50 Cent.
Yo,
That's
I was cracking up.
that's wild. He really said that to his son. That's
He said,
yeah, that's it. That doesn't surprise me. Call him a hookah boy.
he said you go
I'm
to
gonna
the
start
club.
calling people that.
He even said he said the club he work at and everything. Bro, do you?
That's pretty much calling him someone that like does bottle service. That's wild.
Yeah,
So
it's so bad. 50's the worst dad. What did I say? I said 50 Cent is the second worst dad ever, next to Thomas Jefferson.
that's you're rebuilding. You're rebuilding. I see.
I'm telling you, I'm in my bag right now. Good stuff.
That's wild.
All right, well, we got dippy dip.
Yeah, man. I know you got dip. I'm gonna attempt to get an oil change before this place closes at 7. Thank you for listening. Thank you for reading. Yeah, that's right. We have a Braille version of proper Ebonics. Not a lot of people know about the Braille version, proper Braille. But yeah, it's been good chatting with you, man. I'll see you out in these comedy streets. Like, subscribe, consider Bang Energy drink, and yeah, be easy. Peace.